Hi, everybody. Welcome to AITA Pod. I'm Danny Vega, joined by the co-host with the co-most. Well, I guess she's like interim. I don't know what she is. Well, our special guest today, Sara Levine, folks.
Hello. I was listening to the podcast and it auto played to like the next episode. And then I was like, oh, that's me. This is weird. I have to shut it off now.
You don't listen to it if it's you on it.
Never. It's
Well,
awkward.
you should, because those are some of the best episodes. You're just the AITA queen. Guys, I just had to deal, and I'm dealing with it. I cannot believe this. I won the reverse lottery. A lottery, of course, is when you enter something improbable. There's a 1 in a billion chance of winning, and then if you get it, something good happens. Isn't that great? You win $1 million. You win $10 million. You finally buy yourself 100 dogs and 10 horses and 16
Yeah.
cats. But I won the reverse lottery, which is that I have 2 weddings in 2026. 2 weddings in the whole year. There's 365 days in a year. Is that where we're still at?
Yeah.
And both weddings are on the exact same date, and one is Sarah's.
That's so crazy.
I'm still mad. I'm just like, there ain't no fucking way, man. There ain't no way.
That's so crazy. I feel like that's like they say if you're in a room with like a small number of people, they're like, if you're in a room with like a small number of people, at least 2 of them will have the same birthday. And you're like,
Yes.
how? That math doesn't make any sense. There's so many days in the year.
The birthday paradox is that if you were in a room with 23 people, there is an over 50% chance that 2 of them will share the same birthday. That's true.
Yeah.
That's a
That math doesn't
mathematical
math
truth.
to me. I don't get how.
I feel you. It's honestly crazy. But my math is much worse. My math
Your math is
is
so much
the Danny
worse.
Vega paradox is if you have 2 weddings, you're fucked. I mean,
And
it's
also, like, one
crazy.
of them is in Mexico and one is in New York, so it's that you're not splitting it, you know?
I gotta give my friend credit. He didn't even I offered to split, and I think he knew. He was like, "I'm not gonna he wasn't pushy. He was like, "It's totally cool." So he was very sweet about it, and, he's a great guy. He's very popular. That was another aspect, I was like, is he gonna be okay, right? Because like, you can't leave the birthday party that no one attended. You know what I mean?
So
You
you're
can't.
saying no one's gonna come to my wedding.
Oh, I don't think anyone's going.
Okay.
The big wedding's in Mexico, girl. No. No, but, like, my friend was in that situation recently. I go, "Hey, man, where are you? I thought you were coming through." He was like, "Well, I was gonna pop into this birthday party and then come over, but nobody showed up to the birthday party."
Oh,
You can't
no.
leave!
No. You're
You
locked
know?
in.
You'll get blood on your hands. You stay. You
That's
stay.
sad. Ugh.
It's so interesting because like, now, I'm having a birthday party. It used to be a huge point of anxiety for me, and I didn't realize, like, you just gotta, like you gotta be involved with people. That's the secret to having people in your life. It's being involved with people. There is no it's obvious.
Yes.
But, like, my birthday used to always be a huge anxious thing because I didn't know who was gonna show up. I didn't know if anyone was gonna show up.
I feel like I've always gone to very populated birthday parties from you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are
I
you making
deserve
your own, birthday bread?
No, not really, but the bread strategy is I actually so I'm in Arizona now, celebrating Thanksgiving with mom and dad. My brother's with his girlfriend in Chicago, so kind of
Oh,
upsetting.
wow. Divided.
Divided, yeah. I mean, she's great, but I'm just like, 'cause she got all I think she got a lot of siblings, so I'm like, "You don't get to take my one sibling. That needs to be a
Mm.
factor. You took my brother. She
Mhm.
got sisters and shit, like, her family's they're gonna have a good time. You lose that 3 people is not enough to play games. It's not really fun.
Mm.
We need 4.
Yeah, that stinks.
It stinks, and so, we need to work out some kind of deal because this is crazy. Or we'll get a robot. I don't know if the robots are advanced enough, and they'll be kind of our temporary brother.
Get him for at least you get him for Christmas or get the
Yeah.
robot.
We get him for Christmas. Yeah, we get him for Christmas. But, yeah, I got 12 loaves. I left 12 loaves queued up in LA.
Wow.
And I'm just like, I'm just gonna be doling these things out. That's my Christmas strategy. It's just bread. I ain't buying nothing for nobody, including myself. I've been very good this year.
That's a great gift. I would be happy to receive some homemade bread.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll ship you some.
Aw.
I
Yay.
won't really, because it'll be stale by
It's
the time it
probably a
gets to
lot
you,
of
but
money. I
Yeah, it's pretty
started following this Instagram account that like had this maybe 2 or 3 recipe, 2 or 3 ingredient bread or something like that. I don't know, maybe not because that would be matzah, I feel like, but it looked like a very simple bread, and I was like, maybe I'm gonna make this. Like maybe
Ooh.
I'm gonna become like Danny and just be making bread.
We love bread, water, flour, salt. I mean, come on, people.
Yeah, yeast. It seemed
That's it.
easy, but
That's
then it
it.
always does.
I know. I know.
We'll see.
So we're playing the bread game. Any wedding updates from your side?
No, things are pretty chill so far. I mean, yeah, just we got all the big stuff out of the way. Now it's kind of the lull.
That's great.
Yeah.
A pre-wedding lull.
Yeah. We have to still have to figure out like our first dance, any of the music. So that's fun.
Well, there is one music song that we unite on. You and I have very, very low musical overlap, I fear.
Yes.
Because you're cool. I'm not really, I like pop and like EDM, which is like weird, borderline
So do
incel
I.
music. Do you? I thought you were more into
Yeah.
like hip hop and shit.
Yeah, I listen to everything. I like pop. I mean, my Spotify Wrap this year is gonna be so whack. It's gonna be like Young Ma and also show tunes. Like it's gonna be
Oh,
crazy.
show tunes. No, but we like that song Paradise. Remember that song? Every time I listen to it, I think about you.
Who sings it?
Bocce or some shit. And it's
Damn.
about
I probably know the song, but I don't know the title.
it's about like them in the city, and they're in
Yeah,
the city, and there's like, I don't know, they're in the city for the night.
I believe it. I believe it.
Every
I gotta
every
pipe it
song.
in.
It's about having fun in the city.
I love that.
It's
That is
about
what we
having
would
fun in the
do.
city. What is it
Paradise.
called? Is it called Paradise? I think it's called Paradise by Bocce. Am I crazy? Bozzy Paradise. Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, I
43.
like Bozzy.
Yeah, so this was the
Okay,
one
yeah,
song we agree on. I
yeah.
hope you bump it at the wedding. That's my point.
Oh, okay. I'll put it on the list. Talk to DJ.
Ex- Talk to the DJ. Exciting times. We got some comments here. Wonderful Jazz Rihanna, very dedicated listener. We love her. She writes that my toddler knows where I am in the house just by listening to Danny's voice, and it's really funny. He's got a toddler. There's some discussion. I guess we went through a prego phase in the pod.
Did
Alicia
we?
writes that, yeah, the episodes in the 400s are so prego heavy. As a 6-month pregnant person, I know my baby won't be taller than 5'8" since hearing Danny's voice in the womb. And I
Because
think
that is
that's
the best height.
beautiful. That's the best height.
Yeah.
That is the most meritocratic height. Um, and you might say, well, Danny, what if someone's shorter? Isn't a shorter male have a harder life? But if a guy is shorter than 5'8", that's a chick, bro. That's a chick. Okay.
Damn.
I'm gonna get canceled for that. I'm
They're
just
gonna come
kidding.
for you.
I'm just kidding, guys. And really, we're united. 5'8" and below, we're united. We're all on the same team. Never forget that.
Of course.
All right, Sarah. Well, I want your opinion here.
Hit me.
I'm in my post-car era. God, I have a guilty confession. I've really been enjoying the driverless Waymo we have in LA. There's no driver. I love
Oh,
it.
weird.
And Google owns them, so I hate to support the oligarchs, but and then I don't have to tip. And the robot is a very good driver. It's very smooth. Am I wrong for that? AITA for liking the Waymo?
I mean, probably.
I know.
That freaks me out to not have a person in the car. And also, like, if you're like your money is just going right to Google pretty much, right? Like there's no person
Yeah,
intermediary that you're
no
paying.
intermediary. But you
Yikes.
just get it, Sarah. I get in and it links to your Spotify, so I get in the Waymo and I'm right. As soon as I get in the car, it's like, "Poof, poof, we're having fun in the city." Every song is, "We're having fun in the city."
Oh my god. Yeah, but like I mean, no objectively bad thing, no offense, would ever be like, yeah, come on in. It's a terrible experience for you and also super dangerous and costs way more. Like, of course they're gonna sweeten the pot by being like, yeah, we're gonna automatically connect to your Spotify. And also, we've been data farming your smart thermostat at home, so we know what temperature to put in the car. Like, of course they're gonna do that. I
You
don't
got
really
me.
have a dog in this fight, but
Well, I mean, that's the whole where do you go? Where do you go these days? You know, you anywhere you go, anything you do, you're supporting one of the oligarchs.
Pretty
That's where
much.
it comes. Like, good luck. Good luck having a business and not paying one of these, you know, these oligarchs. Anyway, that's not the issue I'm trying to raise. This is from r/electric unicycle. Some of you know about my pivot from the one wheel to the electric unicycle. I'm actually riding both now fairly regularly.
And he has like
Just
5 of each.
yeah, yeah. No, I only have one wheel now, and I have 2
Wow.
electric unicycles, so I've been pretty
Oh my god.
reasonable. So, this is from the Post. Starbucks customer stirs debate in Korea after charging electric unicycle inside cafe. And there's a picture of the unicycle, which is I don't know how big. I would say it's the size of like a very large backpack. Fair to say?
I feel like it's the size of those stools that are under the bar thing.
Yeah, it's like well, it's bigger than the stool. Well, yeah, I guess standing up it's laying down. But yeah, so people are upset, and the theory is that, you know, people are annoyed by these things, and they're kind of suggesting that this is like unfair, right? Like, oh, like somebody who's using a laptop that doesn't draw that much power, but now you're charging a whole ass electric vehicle at Starbucks. Like, so one of the angles
Hmm.
someone wrote is, how is this hurting anyone indoors? People spend hours on their laptops in there. What's the difference? Lots of so very deep between writes, people just hate someone else getting something for free, even if it's only worth 35 cents.
Interesting. I mean, the difference is probably a large power difference, but also it's Starbucks. But those outlets get kind of competitive, so it's kind of hard to like say. This
That's
picture it doesn't it looks like not it like it's not packed, but I don't know.
yeah, I feel like we run into first of all, I think you pose a valid example. We all go to Starbucks. We can imagine maybe a Starbucks by college, you know, and it's busy season because the exams are next week. And then some Joe Schmo is going there and he's using a laptop outlet and an electric unicycle outlet. And to me, it's like, well, read the room a bit, right? Like, this
Mhm.
is clearly just not the vibe right now for you to be using multiple outlets. That would be true of anything. There is probably some risk as well of the unicycle, like, causing a short.
I was thinking that or like those things start fires all the time. I think you're not allowed to have them in New York City apartments because the e-bikes would just like cause fires.
They do. Certain models are basically, poorly manufactured. Mine is UL certified, so it's not gonna explode.
Of course.
But yeah, right? I personally don't love the explosions. But yeah, I don't know. I also feel like people do this slippery slope thing where it's like, well, what if everybody did that? And like, yeah, if everyone rode an electric unicycle to Starbucks, it would be a problem. But please let me know when I ever run into a single other person riding an electric unicycle. Like, no, that's not gonna, like that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, our society is hanging by a thin thread because it's like, well, yeah, if one person does it, it's not a problem. But then when everybody does it, it is a problem. So it's just like, you're just relying on not everybody like bringing their personal shit to the Starbucks to charge it so that they could avoid paying like, $5 on their electric bill.
Well, yeah, or we're using it. Well, hold on a sec. Wow, okay, that got accusatory. No,
I'm
I
just saying, it's
also,
like, it's not a problem until it becomes a problem. But
if
then
it
when it,
becomes a problem,
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, are you gonna get an electric unicycle?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. Most people aren't gonna get it. They're probably about as popular as they're gonna get.
I don't know. Cars are expensive. I don't like to
Yeah,
drive. We have a good subway system, but if I lived in LA, I would probably need a car or something else.
sure. Maybe it will become a problem. I mean, I'd love for it to be a problem. Some might argue it's been a problem, right? Because we have these guys, rationalize rights. I'll never forget the day I saw the guy in Starbucks bring an iMac and full size printer. This guy was running a whole
Oh,
office in there.
that's hilarious.
Dude's the definition of not bothering anyone. Some folks just love to complain. This is a fascinating debate, which we mostly quell by spending money at the places we charge. If they don't let us charge, we vote with our wallets and go elsewhere. As soon as you spend money, 95% of places we frequent are accommodating. The problem we have is going to doctor's office buildings where spending money isn't a thing.
Hmm. What?
I, I mean, I've charged at the doctor's office.
I'm also like, this person, well, this person doesn't live in America because we spend money at the doctor's office.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they mean no one's gonna go to the doctor's office as a freeloader. Yeah, I mean,
No, but maybe
the
I
balls of
should.
that.
You know,
That would
they've
be
got free water in there. It's comfy.
you only have to deal with a couple sick people.
That true.
But yeah, I mean, I think this goes back to there's other kind of common things at the coffee table. You guys might know a classic AITA story where I sat at the table of a girl taking up an 8 top at the brunch
Oh my
rush
god,
at a
I
coffee
remember
shop.
that.
And I plead
Classic.
guilty on that I could have been more communicative and I should have said something. But like, yeah, in general, I think if you're at a coffee shop and you're kind of taking an unreasonable amount of space and it's packed, like, yeah, you're being an asshole. You're robbing someone else of that experience.
Mhm.
Like that's not really fair to me. It's not fair to the business. But I think most of the time, if you're going to a coffee shop and there's plenty of empty seats, it's like, well, who really cares? Like, yeah, you're gonna cost them a couple pennies.
Yeah. Also, it's a Starbucks, so who gives a fuck? If it was like a mom and pop
Oh, not the Starbucks.
place, I would be like,
Oh,
yeah, who gives a fuck? They can handle it. I'm
the
gonna charge all my
shareholders.
stuff at Starbucks. I'm gonna
I know,
bring
right?
like my floor lamp. Like I'm gonna, yeah. I'm never
That's
paying
I
for
mean,
power again.
power is pretty cheap, but that is funny, like, can you imagine bringing one of those, like, generators, like, those huge batteries, just letting it rip at Starbucks? You're like, "Bro,
Yeah,
I'm gonna be turning on the space heater all night on Starbucks dime."
exactly.
I'm like, "I'm on my 4th hot water, so you can't kick me out, alright?"
Right.
Alright, here's another one from the news. This is fascinating. You guys know I do kind of reckon myself, an armchair lawyer. Basically, this someone was sued for breaking up their marriage, and, her name is Brene Kennard. She
She's
has to
like an
pay
influencer, apparently, right?
yeah, she's an influencer. She big 3 million followers on TikTok,
Damn.
274K on Insta. So she got sued and has to pay 1.75 million dollars.
Wow.
Why? Because she destroyed a Durham couple's marriage. I forget where Durham is. It's in like one
North
of the
Carolina.
Carolinas. Yeah, I don't really believe in the merge those motherfuckers. That's crazy.
Do the
So
Dakotas first.
we don't, yeah, exactly. We don't need separate Dakotas. We don't need separate Carolinas. It's getting very dramatic with these people. But anyway, she gets tried under this is a law it's abolished in 42 states. It's called alienation of affection.
Huh.
Fascinating. Part of
Mhm.
our law. It's from, I guess, the old times in the UK or whatever, old, ye old Europe. And a husband, and it comes from a misogynistic place, like all good laws do. A husband could sue any man who had intercourse with his wife, regardless of her consent. So basically, it was built for men to essentially, get the guys who fuck their wives.
Damn.
And now here we are in 2025, and it's being used in the inverse way. So is this feminism? A woman
No.
sued a woman for fucking with her mans.
No.
$2 million, Sarah.
That's crazy. Who was this lady's lawyer, I feel like?
You don't want to mess with her.
No, I mean the other lady. I'm like, you had a bad lawyer, I feel.
The thing is, it's a thing, and there's a history of cases in this state. It's also like, wow, thank God we were in this state. Is that why we live in North Carolina, babe? So that you can sue? Like, what is going on here? So the other really interesting thing about this to me is it was 2 counts. It was alienation of affection, which could be anything. You don't even need to have sex. You can just basically fuck with someone enough that it messes
That's
with their
oh
marriage.
my god, crazy that you're just gonna sue someone based on vibes. Like, what the fuck?
Dude, vibe. I mean, we're at vibe
That's
coding. Let's do some
insane.
vibe lawsuiting, vibe suing.
Insane.
Criminal conversation, real name of a real tort. It's not a crime. And conversation is an old euphemism for sexual intercourse. I love this line from Wikipedia. An old euphemism for sexual intercourse that is obsolete except as part of this term. That's
Oh,
all it
cool.
has.
Just that one thing's left hanging on by a thread.
I like it as an excuse though. Babe, we weren't having sex. It was just a little bit of conversation.
Seriously.
$2 million. There is a defense though. This is interesting. This comes up a lot, right? Like, do you know if is it legal if you don't know the crime. Of course not, right? Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's legal.
Right.
You can't be like, "Oh, I didn't know it was illegal to kill someone." They don't care. That's not gonna
Right.
get you off. However, an alienation of affection, if the person doesn't know that the person was married, that actually is exculpatory.
Well, that seems fair, kind of. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's it. They had the intent to damage the marriage. So that's not there if
Oh,
they really don't know,
interesting.
if they truly don't know.
Huh.
It's not a defense that the guilty spouse consented to the defendant's conduct, but it might be a defense that the defendant was not the active and aggressive seducer, which
Hmm.
I
That also
hope.
makes sense.
That
Yeah.
would be crazy.
Yeah. This is a crazy law. This should not exist. Oh my god.
I don't know what's in the water in North Carolina because I don't even think of that as like a
Lead? I don't
crazy
know.
yeah, lead.
No, that's so bonkers.
So
Also,
bonkers.
it's like, I mean, clearly they just sued this woman because she was an influencer and she wanted her payday. But I'm
Yeah.
like, now it's literally on the public record that your man left you. Like, and you're so salty about it that you had to sue.
But for 2 million buckos, I'm kind of
I mean,
like,
yeah, like she could sleep easy at night, I guess, with the $2 million, but
she'd be sleeping. She not charging her electric unicycle at Starbucks. Tell you
ha.
what. Fascinating. Yeah. I mean, it does. I, we've mentioned this a little bit, but like just the nature of what things should be illegal, should be, dealt with by the state. To me,
Mhm.
your own personal matters, fucking cheating. It's just, I don't really want the government to be involved, bro. That just seems a little crazy to me.
Yeah. That is nuts.
Wild. Well, folks, thanks for listening. We've got a juicy ep today, some really interesting situations. Our second story of the day, AITA for telling my son he basically caused his own breakup. This is interesting to me. But first, we got a submish here, AITA for writing as a woman, as a man. My friend 20F and I, 20M, are in a writing class together in college. For a recent assignment, we were asked to write a short story using the prompt, A Secret Diary. I wrote
Ooh.
my story. Yeah. I wrote about a woman living in a small town and her inner thoughts. Yes, that's what thoughts are. This was a fiction prompt, and my understanding was we were supposed to create a character and imagine their psyche. My friend read my story and told me I wasn't allowed to write a story from the perspective of a woman because I'm a dude. I told her art is about understanding others and imagining the stories of people who are different so you can achieve a deeper understanding. I also explained that writing female characters with care honors women. She said I didn't know what it was like. Sarah just made a face at that. She said I didn't know what it was like to be a woman, so I shouldn't be writing about them. I explained that you do not need to be something to get into the headspace of that person. Examples: the actor who played Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't a murderer, but he could honor the mindset of a murderer. Von Simon, the acclaimed feminist poet, is a man, but he writes poetry about feminism. Or Stan by Eminem. Eminem was writing from the point of view of a superfan. She kept saying I was wrong and I was being disrespectful to women. Also, possibly relevant as we hooked up a month ago at a party and it was just a casual thing.
My
But
god.
then I noticed she got a little weird after that. But even so, I still think I should be able to explore whatever person's mindset I want for artistic expression without being shamed. AITA.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is so much worse than the OP is trying to make it seem.
So much worse than the OP is trying
Just
to
like
make it
whatever
seem.
he wrote, I feel like is probably bad. But whatever, I suppose. I mean, it's kind of an interesting question that's had a lot in like writing forums, not really gender people, it's pretty accepted that you can like write from a gender that's not your own. Men don't always do it well, but
Right.
you can do it. I think like, obviously when people talk about like race or other like marginalized identities, it gets very like I don't know, it's just like it's a debate that people are always having. But yeah, I mean, I think gender is pretty accepted to be like, yeah, you can do it. But I think a lot of men think they're doing a good job and they're just not.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think we struggle a lot with this, gendering it up, a known sin, women be like, men be like. Um, it's an interesting question. I mean, I once had a friend, and this stuck with me. He said, "Just write women like you write men." and that no one will have an issue with that. So every woman I write is like, "My dick is big and I like sex."
It's
No, but yeah, like, in
a
other
good
words,
joke.
not
Yeah,
thank
because
you.
I feel like a male writers will always be like, "Her sumptuous breasts," like, blah, blah,
Right,
blah, and,
right.
like, they always do, like, weird ass cringy shit like that. I Nikki and I, shouts out, we're reading this book, and I was reading the book, I didn't know anything about the author. The author had, like, a gender neutral name, and I was like, "I just fucking know that this author is a man." Like, I could tell because the protagonist was, like, a girl, but she was, she was, like, being actively hunted by a murderer, but was, like, too cool to be afraid and, like, all this other bullshit, and I was just like, "I just fucking know this was written by a man," and I Googled him, and I felt so vindicated.
You nailed it.
Yeah.
Can
Also, I
you
just love that the
Yeah.
OP is, like, the first example he brought up is, first of all, an actor, so that's not the same thing, talking about a serial killer. I'm just like, "What?"
The actor one lost me, and then
Yeah.
there's this Von Simon who I looked up on Instagram.
Never heard of this
He's
person.
he's like a Gen Z poet with a lot of followers.
Gen Z, okay.
I mean, to me, that's not even fitting the bill because they're feminists, so that's
That
not
doesn't
really exactly it.
No, like, are they writing poems as a woman? Like,
No,
no.
that wasn't no,
Yeah, so
no.
then no.
So the Gen Zs love Von Simon,
And
but
then okay,
Stand by
actually,
Eminem,
all of OP's
millennial.
examples are whack, like,
No,
totally whack. Like, you're talking about A, acting, B, a poet, and you can write about feminism and be a man. And then the third thing is, like, Eminem talking about a character who is still his same gender. Like, you're just talking about writing from a different point of view that is not your own.
but Stan's his gender, so you're saying that doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't even it's not even, like, relevant.
I thought the Stan example was kinda worked for me because I was like, "Well, he's Eminem, he's famous, and he's essentially, you could argue, punching down, right? Because he's making fun of, or at least bringing to light, Stan, who is his loser, psycho. I mean, that's being mean about it. But, right, this person who's quote unquote below him in this way. But I feel like, of course, I love the song Stan and it's made me cry.
Mhm.
So I felt like that example kind of did work for me.
I mean, I think the OP is just saying, like, "Oh, you can only write" this gets, like, into a very, like, reductive, like, argument that people try to hit back with, and they'll be like, "Oh, so you can only write from, like, your exact live experience?" And it's like, "No, I don't agree with this girl's argument, but the argument is like, no, but when you try to write from a marginalized identity that is not your identity, like, you obviously don't know it. So there are probably things that you're gonna get wrong." And he is just pointing
Right.
out, like, different examples that don't relate. Like, he could have just been like, "Oh, Steve Martin wrote a novel that was terrible. I'm sorry." From the point of view of this, like, woman, and it was bad. And but he wrote the book anyway, so he could have said, like, "Oh, what about this book?" Or like that, this, that, and the other. The book You is written by a woman. It's, told through like Joe Goldberg's like internal narration. Like, there are real examples of this that this person could have pointed to, and instead they just like grasped at nothing, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I think where we can line up here is that there is obviously a way to do this that is not okay. Propaganda is not okay, right? Like, in other words, writing from someone else's point of view to forward your own values or message. So that there's a way to do it that is perfectly fine and good. But there's definitely ways it can be wrong. Like the example you're saying. I would say if you're writing a bunch of women who are like, my tits are so big and I'm
Yeah.
obsessed with dick, it's like, that's propaganda. That's something else. Now you're
I mean,
forwarding a
it's not
set of
always
ideas.
even like propaganda, but it's just like people, and this is why it is a debate, is because it's like, yeah, you can do whatever you want. But like, I mean, even like this book that I just read, it's like, I'm not offended by it and it's not propaganda, but it's just like, I, as a woman, am just like, yeah, this just doesn't feel accurate and it makes it not enjoyable because
No,
you're
that's just
like,
flat bad. I mean, that's just bad. Is that what you're saying? It's
exactly, it's
bad.
bad, and that doesn't make it's like propaganda or you're, like, pushing a certain agenda, but it's just, like, you're limited by your own experience, and, you you probably don't know how someone who doesn't share your experiences is gonna think necessarily because you're limited by your own worldview.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think the context here is important. I mean, this is a student in a class. This feels like
Mhm.
a very normal thing to do. I mean, you're right, there could be some picture painting, but it seems reasonable. He simply wrote from a woman's perspective in the
Yeah.
diary. So I don't see that as inherently problematic. Do I have a problem with somebody writing historical fiction, a white guy writing historical fiction about slavery and not doing a lot of research and then writing from a black person's perspective that it wasn't that bad? Well,
Yep.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
propaganda. That's something else. So now we're getting into like what you're doing is distorting. There's even if it's not really with an agenda, it's just so sloppy that it's distorting.
Yeah.
So okay, then we get to this other plot point. She kept saying I was wrong and I was being disrespectful. And then OP throws in this like, "Oh, we hooked up a month ago and it was just a casual thing."
Yeah, that told me all I need to know. This guy also said, I also explained that writing female characters with care honors women. I'm like, bitch, no, what? Shut up. Like, no, it doesn't.
You're
What are you
you're
talking about?
20. You're 20.
You're
No
20 and
wor
like we don't need you to that is so mansplainy. Like we don't need
mm,
you to do that. There are so many female authors, also like we real women who exist. Like we
mm.
don't fucking need some 20-year-old guy with his fake ass diary entry to honor us, quote unquote. Like shut the fuck up.
And I love women authors like J.K. Rowling and Ayn Rand.
Oh my
Some of the best.
god.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, they're 20. This is that like delusional egotism.
Mhm.
But yeah, to me, this does say that there was an interpersonal issue with them. It sounds like a classic case of they hooked up, she wanted something more, and now she's hostile about it. That's kind of my read.
I mean, that's I think the picture that he's trying to paint is like women are crazy, am I right? I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's fair. Imagine that the woman in the short story is about a jilted lover he's trying to keep it's just a personal attack at her.
Yeah. That's his propaganda.
That's his propaganda. Reasonable Cookie 93699 writes, depends on how you wrote the woman. Yes, woman can write a story from a male POV, but if you're an asshole or not hinges on the depiction, stereotypical tropes to shape your heroine, YTA. If it was respectful, NTA.
I mean, I just don't think whatever. It doesn't really matter, but I'm not getting respectful vibes from this guy. So,
Sarcastic Anne's right. This will
hmm.
shock her, I'm sure, but make sure she does. Most novels have male and female main characters. The stories are not written by two authors. If you plan to keep writing
Wow,
from
look
different
at this
perspectives.
guy being like, you should inform this girl how books work.
Yeah, I kinda don't like this person.
No, that person is obnoxious as hell.
AITA for writing as a woman, as a man. So you're taking I don't know if I can go as far as you on this, Sarah. I just kinda feel like, what did she really do? The friend read the story. The friend read the story.
Hmm.
Was it even in public?
I don't have a problem with this. I think on its face, like there's nothing wrong with it.
He didn't do anything wrong, and it sounds
No.
like he showed her the story. She had issues with it. Sounds like she's wrong. She characterized what he did as being disrespectful to women. She didn't say I'm personally disrespected. She didn't expect an apology. Sounds like she got a little weird and testy, cantankerous, but I have no charges against her. It didn't sound like she tried to publicly shame him or that this was in a public context. And we don't know what he read, so as far as I'm concerned, she might be right. And so I'm frankly at no assholes here.
No, same. I mean, I think on its face, like this is a debate that's had all the time in writing communities and like yeah, people do it obviously all the time. Some people aren't comfortable with it. It's just like each author's like POV and comfort level. So I don't really think anyone did anything wrong.
ATA for writing as a woman, as a man. I think we're lining up on this one. It's no assholes here. Folks, please rate, review, subscribe. Join me on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Join today and you'll get an invite to Sarah's wedding. Just kidding, guys. That'd be wild. That'd be crazy.
For the low, low price of like, I don't know, it's got to be a good $100 a month for 1 month.
$100 a month. We'll get you in.
Yeah.
AITA for telling my son he caused his own breakup. My son never once went to see his long distance lover who came to visit him nearly every month. He refused to try despite my constant encouragement, in part because my wife insisted that she was afraid of his flying. Eventually, the
What?
relationship ended, and the girlfriend is now seeing someone else. I explained to my kid that I knew why she had left and that he was to blame because he had made no attempt to maintain the connection. He and my wife are now furious with me, AITA, for expressing it. I continue to believe it was true.
What is this?
I had a
What's
lot of
going on?
issues with this.
I don't even understand anything that's happening. And also, long distance lover? As a
Yeah, I
parent, why
mean,
are you using that phrase?
yeah, is she a girlfriend? What is she? Is he his
I don't
mistress?
know.
What's going
Yeah.
on? Yeah, I guess I kinda wanted to say, I think, I don't like flying, it makes me anxious, it makes me a wreck, but, and I know some people who deal with flying issues, but, like, I guess it's important to PSA this and say, we're all don't like flying. We all don't like it, but, like, it's kinda part of life, and it's really just, like, if you don't wanna do it and you're that serious about it, you need to be prepared to do some really ridiculous shit because it's normal. It's normal to fly places and
Yeah.
do stuff with people. It just is.
Yeah. We had one friend who, like, in order to avoid, like, what is maybe a 4-hour flight, took, I want to say, a 14-hour Amtrak and then drove like 5 more hours.
And hey, that's actually a great way to get yourself into the mindset of flying is actually a really good deal.
Seriously.
It just is, people, and I had a driving phase. I mean, Lord knows, rest in peace, my Camry hybrid. I put 40,000 miles on that puppy, almost all long distance driving in 3 years.
Hmm.
And I drove to Colorado, and I drove to Wyoming, I drove to Nebraska. That's a
How
state,
far
Sarah.
is
Are you
that?
familiar? It's over 1,000,000 miles. It's like going to the moon back.
From LA? It's a wait, what? No. How far
Yeah.
is it from LA? Like how
No,
many
I don't
hours?
know. I don't know. 20 hours. I don't know. It's too long. Let me tell you, it's so long that I'm never doing it again. That's how long it
Well,
is.
I think your first mistake was going to Nebraska, but I hear you.
Hey, there's sweet listeners there.
My dad has a weird cousin in Nebraska, so
Yeah, everybody does. That's where they make them. Yeah, I guess so. I wanna say that because I also feel like but maybe that's not exactly the core here because it's the wife insisting that she was afraid of his flying,
is the
and
son a
that's not okay.
pilot? Like he's really bad at it? I
Yeah,
don't know. This
right?
whole thing was written so strangely.
Well, my issue with it, playing it as it lays, is father, it's like, "Well, where were you, man? Where were you?" Like, you can't just like, it's kinda like, you ever tell someone a story where you're like, "Yeah, I really messed up. I didn't put gas in my car, and then I was in a huge rush, and sure enough, I ran out of gas, and I was on the side of the highway." And then they just look at you and they go, "Well, you should make sure to put gas in your car." Well, right, I got that. No, I know, I learned the lesson. I'm not here to share for your infinite wisdom, dear oracle.
Well,
And I
that's what
feel
I'm
like
wondering. I'm like, is the son confused about why they broke up? Because it seems obvious, but then again, like, I don't know.
yeah, I'm just like, it seems to me that dad is kinda, like, doubling down and tripling down, and it's like, does this need to be explained, and why are you
Right.
explaining it? If it's over, it's over, so do we really need to, like, get in there? Like, if the son is asking, tell.
I know. If he's like, why? I don't understand. Like, that's one thing, but I'm just like, is anybody doing that?
It really just sounds like dad's rubbing it in his face, and this
Maybe.
is after I'm sorry, but, like, I do believe from my understanding as an armchair parent,
Hmm.
um, you wanna present as a united front, and I think there can be some nuance there. I think it's okay for mom to say, "I'm afraid of you flying." I don't have a huge problem with that. I don't have a huge problem with that. That could be reporting. It makes me nervous when you fly. I'd prefer you minimize it. I think that's legal to say. I don't kinda love it because I don't really love it. I don't love the more I say it, the more I don't like it. Because to me, it's like, okay, like, well, now you're not that takes a very well-defined, boundaryful, if I may drop that bullshit, person to be like, okay, and those are your feelings, and that's your problem. Like, I'm not to cater to your anxieties,
I
which
mean,
are
I think a
not
lot of
relevant.
adults would respond that way.
Which way?
Be like, well, I'm not going to just be grounded because you're afraid of flying.
No, 100%. Adults would, but do you think a child? I think a child might be more susceptible to that. That's a form of
Yeah. How
pressure.
old are these people? We don't know.
I mean, I'm guessing he's young.
It did give like 18-year-old
Yeah,
with some girl he
yeah,
met online or something.
yeah. And so I don't love that mom did that. I think if mom had couched it and said, "Look, you're welcome to do whatever you want. I prefer you guys minimize the flying. I'd prefer you guys, not do that. I prefer you date a girl that's here." I don't love that.
Well, then I do feel
Mm,
like if he is a child, then I feel like that's fair.
I don't know about that.
I mean, that is all being a parent is like, I'd prefer if you don't, like, cross the street without looking. I'd prefer if you don't, like, go drink in a field in the middle of the night.
But
Like,
this is a person. It's a relationship with a person. I'm kinda like, "What's the angle here? We don't like the lover? Is there an issue with the lover? What's like"
the lover.
I guess she is a lover, so how serious is it really?
Mhm, mhm. It's
But
weird.
so I don't like mom, but I also don't like dad because dad I feel like dad was like, I my constant encouragement, but what was the nature of the encouragement? If it was so much and so constant, then how come the wife's insistence that she was afraid of his flying was so successful? How come she won?
Maybe she didn't and the kid is just, like, lazy and just, like is like, "Well, I can be in a relationship on my own terms, and my girlfriend is gonna fly to me, and I don't have to spend any money or time
Yeah?
going to visit her." And then he, like, shocked Pikachu that it didn't work out.
Yeah, and then one of the wolves smelling blood, right, could sense the relationship weakening, and then he said, "Oh, really? Your boyfriend? Oh, really? Bart? You think Bart cares about you? How many times has he flown out here? Rita?
Classic
I haven't
Bart.
seen Bart once, Rita. You're flying out again to Tuscaloosa to see him?" You know, I feel like it was just a natural thing. It's like, yeah, part of it is showing up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is so weird.
I kinda am feeling like dad is the one pissing me off the most. I just feel like he's very, like, sanctimonious. He came here for us to tell him that he's not the asshole and that mom is, and I'm like, "No, I kinda don't feel like he was. I feel like you needed to tell your son very clearly that your wife has her feelings, but that flying is ultimately extremely safe. It's the safest form.
Well,
Commercial
but it's
aircraft
like,
are the
why
s."
is the mom getting blamed for the son's actions? Like, okay, fine.
Exactly.
Dad is, like, saying you should visit her. Mom is saying, "I don't like when you fly," but, like, the mom is not responsible. Like, as a mom, you probably don't like a lot of stuff that your kids do because it's fucking dumb, but, like, the son is the one making the choice, so I don't really feel like mom factors into it.
Dad was there to mitigate. Dad was there to mitigate. If the charges on mom are that she was being a little manipulative, then I say fine, but dad was there to mitigate, and I don't feel like he did. Necessary fly 1095 NTA. I guess he's been complaining and you served him some hard cold truth. I don't feel like you did. I feel like you failed here, dad. You came in after the fact and then we're like, "See, look.
But that's not
Look how
true. He
I
said he
knew."
was constantly, like, being like, "Hey, you should probably go see her."
He
Mom was
said
saying, "I
that.
don't like you flying." Dad was saying, "You should probably go see her." I think the son just chose, like, the easiest route probably, and, like,
But
that's that.
But then dad comes in after I explained to my kid that I knew why she left and that he was to blame for it. "Oh, really? Well, why are you explaining that? You're explaining that because you didn't say it prior, did you?"
But that's not true. But that's not what he said.
He says he encouraged it. He didn't say that he
Yeah.
foresaw that it would end.
I mean, but so, I mean, I think if this son needs to have it spelled out to him of, if you don't see your girlfriend, she will break up with you. Like, that actually to me is a level of meddling that is, like, too much as a parent.
But that's what I'm saying, Sarah. What is there to explain?
Nothing.
So I'm trying to land some dings on dad. I don't like dad.
Oh.
Dad asserts that he was constantly encouraging. So, in my view, why the fuck are you posting this? There should be no question then. If you were truly a balance, a counter to mom, then this is 100% on your son. I feel like dad posted this because he actually wanted us to ding his wife, when in reality, it's him who's an asshole because he failed in his campaign and he should feel nothing, but he feels some kind of guilt. You know why? Because after the fact, he rubbed it in his son's face. And it was like, why did you need to do that?
That's like a level of mental gymnastics that I don't really know if I'm comfortable doing. That's a lot.
I explained to my kid that I knew why she had left and that he was to
Yes.
blame for it because he made no attempt to maintain the connection.
I mean, that seems true.
AITA for expressing it. I mean,
No, I don't really think so. Unless it's like a thing where it's like nobody, not a single soul. Dad, well, you know why she broke up with you? It's because,
that
you
is what
know,
it seems like to me.
yeah, I don't know. It seems
AITA
so
for
obvious that it's just like, does dad need to explain it? And if he does, why? I don't know. I guess I'm info
exactly.
because there's nothing in here. I'm like, go girl, give us nothing. There's literally nothing
AITA
here.
for telling my son he basically caused his own breakup. I'm not sure what that achieved. I feel like was son asking, was there any question of what caused this?
Right. I don't know.
I mean, I'm all about responsibility, and I just feel like, dad constantly encouraged, but then if he constantly encouraged, how come son never went? It just feels like, according to dad, so dad's narrative is I constantly encouraged him, and his mother expressed a fear, and then they broke up, and I said, "See, told you."
I guess. Yeah. I mean, whatever. I don't know. The situation is so dumb. I can agree with you.
I don't know what I'm thinking, so tell me how you agree with me, because now you're causing me to lose my footing.
Well, I'm just like, this is such a nothing burger. Like, we don't know the age of this person. We don't know how long they were together. Like, how long is this flight? Like,
How long is the
is
flight?
the son is the son confused about the breakup? We don't really know anything.
Yeah, we really don't know very
Like,
much,
why
and
are the son and the wife mad? Are they mad because he's being a dick and like it's not a mystery why they broke up and he keeps like hammering it? Are they mad because they just can't accept any personal criticism? Like, we just don't know anything.
AITA for telling my son he basically caused his own breakup. Sarah's moved me to no hassles here,
I
honestly.
guess.
I think maybe the wife. See, I don't know. Yeah, maybe the wife then, if I have to say, because if you're saying that, then I'm saying okay, dad is reality checking, and he's mad. The son is mad, which is understandable, but wife should not be mad at the reality check. So that's the worst thing. But I'll say no hassles here overall.
All right. I guess.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. We're going to wrap up here on one that Sarah sent me. I think this is a classic trip to Booze Town. AITA for expecting husband to make me a mimosa. I32F offered to make my husband 36M breakfast. I realized we didn't have bread, and my husband offered to walk to the corner store a couple blocks away and get some. I thanked him for being willing, and when he came back, he had the bread and a few treats, including orange juice and champagne. He doesn't drink. I told him how thoughtful and sweet the surprises were as I continued to prep the kitchen. Next thing I know, he's laying on the couch playing video games. Ugh. I asked him if he was going to make me a mimosa, to which he replied he was thinking I could do that. I pressed him a little. He said he didn't know how. I said, "Why don't you look it up?" I tried to explain that while it was sweet to get those items, I felt like part of the gift would be pouring one for me. I explained that I'm in the middle of trying to make breakfast for us, and that his way of gifting this put work, however minimal, back on me. He responded by saying that he should have only gotten the bread. I even gave example of someone gifting strawberries and chocolate to make chocolate dip strawberries, but not actually making them. Eventually, he got up and made the mimosa, but he continued to grumble and communicate it was basically wrong of me to be frustrated by this. However, as there wasn't an acknowledgement that he could even see how I might feel that way, and he continued to make comments about how he shouldn't have even got me a surprise. The positive feelings had been washed away, and I stopped making breakfast and we went to our own areas. Now he is saying I was mean to him and am ungrateful. So AITA for expecting communicating to my husband that if a gift requires follow through, that is typically on the gifter.
Jesus Christ. I mean, yeah, this lady sounds exhausting.
It's weird because I thought that initially, and on the reread, I'm more on her side.
Really?
I think so.
I okay, explain to me.
Well, I think there's a theory of reciprocity in an established relationship where it's kind of like maybe just try and give back a little bit,
Mhm.
So she offers to make breakfast, then they don't have bread. Husband offers to walk to the corner store and get some. Then he comes back and I'm like, "He got the surprises, but then he won't just take a second to make her a drink because of the fucking video games." I'm like, so I'm gonna sit here and make us breakfast. I mean, it's kinda like he didn't really. I mean, I guess he did go, but part of me is just like, "Well, yeah, make the damn mimosa, like, kinda finish the deal here." You're still getting a great deal because trading a mimosa for breakfast, like, that's not anywhere near comparable.
True, but he also had to leave the house. I'm like, "That's to get bread."
He did leave the
I'm like,
house.
"That's something." And
I
I
don't
mean, I
know,
think if he
hmm,
drank, it would be one thing, but he doesn't drink. So part of me is like, "And you expect him to make your drink for you. Like, relax."
yeah,
And then I kind of feel like the
yeah,
explaining of it is like, "I'm tired." Like, you're hammering home something that is, like, so not important, I feel like.
what part?
Just, like, all of this, like, oh, the gift and the reciprocity and the analogy to the strawberries and, like, whatever. It's just and to me, it's exhausting.
I guess, I don't know, I think it's just, like, it's a I think it's hard for me to take the side of somebody whose partner starts to make them breakfast, and
Mhm.
then they're just gonna hit the couch and start gaming, like, that's just a little bit like, are we trading like, we're taking turns being servants? I don't know, it's a little odd to me. It feels very much like, I don't know, going off to my own land. I don't know, I guess I
Video games are not a good, like, stereotype, so I get what you're saying. The video
even
game
if it was
husband is not a good stereotype.
he puts on a movie, I'm like, "Really? You're gonna put on a whole fucking movie right now?" Like,
He put on a movie?
no, I'm
I
just
thought
saying, even if I
oh,
change
in
it, "Oh, he
theory.
put on a movie." I'm like, "Well, you put on a whole fucking movie? Like, why don't you sit in the kitchen with me?" Or, like, I don't know, and I guess I'm biased because obviously if I have a girl over as a single man, it's like a whole big thing. It's not like, we live together, so there's a lot of comfort and familiarity here.
Mhm.
I mean,
I
people
don't
ripped
know.
OP apart. This went YTA. You
Oof.
turned a nice little gesture from your husband into a petty fight, and what seems like you have control issues. Grow up and pour yourself a drink. You're an adult.
I kinda feel the same way. I mean, I will say I got a little bit of weaponized incompetence where he was like, "I bought you ingredients for a mimosa." "Oh, but I can't make it for you because I don't know how." I'm like, "Oh, really? So you know enough about mimosas to know that there are just 2 ingredients. But
To
then you
be,
claim you can't
I
make
didn't
it
know.
because you don't know how.
I didn't know.
You just combine the 2 ingredients. Like, what kind of process are you envisioning?" And she's right, he could just look it up. Like, that felt like a little bit of excuses to me. We're like,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
maybe
some
he doesn't know the exact ratios, but those don't exist. But let's say whatever, he's like, I don't know the right proportions or whatever. That just seems like an excuse to not make it.
apparently OP edited the post and then it got removed by the moderator to say
Mm.
that she did not ask him to go to the store and told him it wasn't necessary. So it sounds like after getting buried in the comments, she tried to change the story.
So, okay. So she asked him to get the bread or he offered to get the bread. It doesn't really matter.
I think she asked him to get the bread, which I think hurt her case a lot.
Hmm. Then yeah. But it does say, I realized we didn't have bread and my husband offered to walk to the store.
Yeah,
That's the edited part?
oh, I guess so. One of the comments said
Hmm.
it was edited to changed it. Yeah, I mean, everybody's saying YTA here. We got some ESHs. You sound exhausting, honestly. I don't feel like this is worth causing an argument. I don't think the comparison to chocolate covered strawberries is good. Was he expected to make you every mimosa you were going to drink all because he brought the ingredients?
I kinda don't feel like it's good either just because making a mimosa is so low lift. Like, strawberries, you gotta melt the strawberries and, like or I mean, melt the chocolate, dip the strawberries, put it in the fridge, like, whatever. Like, that's, like, a high labor labor-intensive gift. Like, that would be obnoxious. If someone was like, "I got you a gift, I made you cookies," and then they just have, like, flour, butter, chocolate chips, like, that would be fucked up.
That
But
would
to
be
be like,
whack.
"Hey, I got you ingredients to make a mimosa," like, I feel like that's kinda nice.
Yeah, I don't know. She writes, I could totally see how this might come across, but he was only 10 feet away and he was still having conversation with me. I would have happily brought the bottles and a glass to him. The point was, I was in the middle of trying to do something nice for us and asked for his assistance to pour me a drink that he purposely got for me for this morning. He could have said he would when food was ready or in a few minutes or something was how. And it was just that he said no.
That's, like, worse. I don't know, I feel like that whole justification is, like, worse to me.
I didn't need the bread. I didn't ask him to get the bread. I was fine to go forward with breakfast without the bread. He was kind by offering to get the bread. I kind of feel like even
It's
though
kind
I
of like
won't,
so you would have waited, like, 10 minutes or whatever to get your mimosa, you just wanted him to pour it for you because reasons, like
I feel like OP is being difficult. I feel like,
yeah,
OP, what do you want? What did you want? And then it's like, I don't want what's happening. I know that much. She lost me. I was trying to take her side, but I
I
feel
was
like she's
trying, but it's like,
difficult.
"Here, I got you cookies," and then you're like, "Oh, what? So you're not gonna unwrap it and put it on a plate for me?" Like, and then you're just like, "Fucking relax." "Oh, you're not gonna put it in my mouth?" Like, "Okay, you know, I got you the cookies."
And it's winter, like, leaving the house sucks, like, that's supposed to be the hard part, that's why it's an asymmetric deal, it's like, yeah, you're gonna leave the house, and that only takes 10, 15 minutes, but you gotta
Mhm.
go out in the cold and talk to someone, that's a whole thing, so, yeah, it'll take you 40 minutes to make breakfast, but that's the trade, you don't have to go in the cold.
Right. And also, like, you gotta carry 2 heavy bottles home, like a champagne bottle and orange juice.
I guess, I mean,
It's kinda heavy.
that's I wouldn't characterize that as heavy,
Yeah.
um,
Heavier than
I
bread.
guess it's heavier than bread,
Like,
but
he
it's like,
coulda
you
just
know,
come home with the bread. That's how like, he
he
coulda just come
brought
home with the bread
extra
and that would've
home.
been fine. And then he got her something else, and because he didn't prepare it, like, now he's the asshole, and it's like, "Bro, come on."
She sounds difficult. I'm like, decide what you want." What she should have said was, "Hey, you know what I'd really enjoy if we made breakfast together today? Would you be down?"
Yeah.
To me, instead, it sounds like, "Hey, here's a gift. By the way, did you know that you're gonna be also giving me a gift right now? And that's
Mm.
obnoxious."
Yeah.
And that's why I'm
And then
ultimately
I'm gonna
at
lecture you on gift giving, you know what I mean?
amen. AITA for expecting husband to make me a mimosa. I'm sorry, OP, I tried, but it's YTA from me.
Yeah, same.
All right, folks, that's the Thanks so much for listening. Much love, and we will see you next time. Hope you have a happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.